Nagesh sir, when our guest will join, sir? Pattu sir?
Madam, I will just invite him in a minute. Yeah.
Okay, sir. And if possible, we can even start at least 10 minutes later because some people are joining now. As of now, only 19 are there.
Okay.
But still, if we want, we can wait for another 5 to 10 minutes, sir.
Yeah. I am in that tone. Like I will wait for 5 minutes and then
Yeah. Yeah, sir. Because Dean RNC has also left. So before starting, I think Sir is there. I think Sir is.
Madam,
yeah,
I am here.
he is
Okay,
coming.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, unmute, sir. Unmute. We are not able
I
to hear you.
changed the background by coming to Google Chrome browser
Okay, sir. Okay.
because I am at house. If I am removing background, for fan is coming.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Sampath sir, very good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Shastri sir,
Sir,
the
good
speaker
afternoon,
has
sir.
joined, sir.
Namaste. Good
Yes.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Namaste, sir. Good afternoon.
Namaste. Good afternoon.
Sir, shall I start the session now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Good afternoon, all. Professor G.R.K. Sastry, Dean Research and Consultancy, Pattern IIC. Today's eminent speaker, Dr. Sampath Parthasarathy sir. Dr. Karthik Seshadri, Dean Student Career Alumni and International Affairs. Dr. Sudarshana Deepa, Associate Dean Innovation, Incubation, Startup Policy and Affairs, and President of IIC. Dr. Shankar, Vice President of IIC. Dr. Sharad Dwivedi, Coordinator IIC, and members of IIC, faculty members, students, and external participants who have registered for this short event here. I welcome you all for this session on problem solving and ideation. Firstly, I express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sampath sir, who has agreed to deliver a session today in short notice. I also thank all the participants who have registered and who are here. The topics for today's session is being identified as one of the themes of IIC activities. However, it addresses one of the important query faced across industry, startups, students, and academic fraternity. Today we have with us Dr. Sampath Parthasarathy, who works at the intersection of industry and academia and for quite some time. And I am sure our students shall get the benefit of his experience and exposure of industry through his talk. Dr. Sampath sir, we have with us the audience, among the audience, research scholars of the institute across multiple disciplines, then faculty members of our institute, as well as from other institutes, and undergraduate students, and people from industry also. I wish we shall have a very good session from you. Without further wasting your time, I complete my address by just resaying what Swami Vivekananda said, and which is timely in the context of today's event. Take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way for success. This is what Swami Vivekananda contemplated. With that, I will hand over the session to Dr. Karthik, who will introduce the guest speaker. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nagesh. You have to mute it.
So, Karthik, if two devices are there, one you log out.
You have to just reduce the volume.
No, you log out one device.
Thank you, Dr. Nagesh. Good evening to the speaker, Dr. Sampath Narayanan Parthasarathy, Dean RNC, Professor Shastri sir, Associate Dean International Relations and MOUs, Dr. Sudarshana Deepa, the coordinator of IIC, Dr. Sharad, the president IIC, Dr. Shankar, coordinator of this program, Dr. Nagesh Bhattu, my peers at NIT Andhra Pradesh and participants. On behalf of NIT Andhra Pradesh, it's my pleasure to see you here, Dr. Sampath Narayanan Parthasarathy, founder and director, Data Ever Consulting. And we welcome you to this seminar on problem solving and ideation. And it's my privilege to share with the participants a brief note about Dr. Sampath Narayanan. He has 25 plus years of rich professional experience across various organizations. He worked in IBM as an expert level consultant. He has delivered around 30 strategic cloud consulting engagements for CXOs of large enterprises. He has helped CIOs on cloud solution architecture with the associated budgetary estimates and to initiate cloud IaaS projects to support their business goals. He defined IT strategy for large banks in UK, Saudi, China, India, Australia, and Vietnam for large telecoms. And also, he defined an IT strategy for a mining major headquartered in Australia. He possesses an extensive cross-cultural experience in transformation and strategy. The direct influence of his work on his organization's revenue was to the tune of US $50 million. He possesses various skill sets such as defining business-aligned cloud strategy, cloud solution architecture, supporting a large network of business partners, engaging with C-level clients, setting up centers of excellences, conducting design thinking workshops. He's an expert in various domains such as cloud, robotic process automation, digital transformation, data management, HPC, and embarrassingly parallel applications. He has received several awards and recognitions throughout his professional career. He received the IBM Client Value Outstanding Technical Achievement Award from IBM for the years 2012 and 2016. He received GM Client Award and Service Excellence Award from IBM in 2011. He worked as one of the members in the Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC, Pune. He received IBM Consulting Certification, Business Continuity Institute Certification, and ISO 22301 LA certifications. He received Best Project Award for having demonstrated the performance superiority of Param supercomputer over Cray, which has led to the widespread adoption of Param. He has handled plethora of projects during his professional career in broad domains of RPA for banking and financial institutions and XaaS sectors as service offerings such as Power Cloud, Object Storage as a Cloud, Compute Storage as a Service using hyper-converged solutions, container cloud services using Kubernetes, backup as a service, and DB as a service, IT strategy development, business continuity DR consultancy, HPC solutions, and SGA server technologies. It's indeed an extensive exercise for me to go through his profile and then gist it so that I can talk within 5 minutes. Such is the extensive expertise that he possesses. I once again welcome you, sir, to deliver this talk on problem solving and ideation. I urge all the participants to stay alert and get the most out of this seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the nice introduction. Now I invite Professor GRK Sastry, who is the president of Pattern of IIC, to give his overview remarks on the activities of IIC Institute Innovation Cell. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Nagesh Bhattu. Respected Sambit Narayan Padasarthi, sir. Welcome, sir, on behalf of this Institute Innovation Council and Karthik Seshadri. It's actually the whole credit goes to the president of this IAC, Sudarshan Deepa, vice president as well as coordinator, Dr. Sharad Dwivedi. I request Sudarshan Deepa madam to give the overview about the IAC. Sir, actually it is every month we are conducting 2 to 3 programs. And last week we have conducted one idea contest program also. We are very much happy, sir, for you are giving today's nice session. I request Sudarshan Deepa to say a few words, then the program will continue. Thank you. Madam, it is muted.
Good afternoon to one and all gathered here. Respected Director in Charge, NIT Andhra Pradesh, Professor Pramodam Padole, sir. Registrar in Charge, Dr. Dinesh P. Shankar Reddy, sir. And Dean Research and Consultancy, IIC Patron, Professor Ravi Kiran Shastri, sir. And our session speaker, Sampath Narayanan Parthisarthi, sir. Faculty members and students. Very good afternoon to one and all gathered here in this Google Meet, as well as this program is also being telecasted through YouTube live stream also. So as many of us are now aware of about NIT Andhra Pradesh, which is said to be the 31st young NIT in India, which was started in the year 2015. And IIC was started in this institute in the year 2018. So this institute has been supporting innovation, incubation, and startup activities by conducting several ideathons, hackathons, startup presentations, and competitions to make ideas work for commercialization. And I'm very sure that this session about ideation and problem solving skill will also ignite the minds of young students as well as some of the faculty members who are very much fascinated to uh, do some startups so that we can create some future entrepreneurs of India. So now I will stop my talk with this few words. Now it is over to our session speaker. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Hope you can hear me, and I will share my screen. You are able to see my screen? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot. Firstly, generous introduction by Dr. Karthik Sheshadri. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to thank Director, Dean, and particularly Dean Professor G.R.P. Shastri, and then Associate Dean Sudarshan. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Sudarshan
Deepa.
Sudarshan Deepa. Yeah, Dr. Sudarshan Deepa. And of course, Dr. Nagesh Bhattu for coordinating with me. And other faculty, senior management members present in the session, students, research scholars, master students. Thank you very much. This is an honor to speak in the Innovation Council, and I'm very happy that I'm going to talk about a topic which is very relevant for innovation. And so the topic is problem solving through ideation. I have a lot of slides to cover. Don't worry, many slides are very few content in that. That's how we have been trained to make presentations. So thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome and to this session. And I assure you, all the participants, in this session, you will learn a new technique called the problem solving through ideation. What an appropriate topic for this audience and as part of this IIC Innovation Council program. Very important, powerful program. And actually, this particular topic in reality is more a practical workshop kind of session where activity oriented, that's how it is conducted. Still, I will make it engaging and interactive. You also help me by asking me questions and your thoughts, share your thoughts, and so on. Let us make it interactive. So that is one important point. It is a workshop-oriented topic. You will be delighted to know that Google Sprint. This is the book. Okay. This book is full of such case studies. Okay, what we are going to see. And this book was written by ex-Googlers who actually conducted such a workshop. Basically, problem solving through ideation for Google funded startups. Interestingly, a lot of case studies globally they have done. And this session is also going to be along those lines. You will see that. So I will share this book reference at the end. Not to worry about that. Let us focus. Immediately, a thought, I'm sure, come to all of your mind. Where all I can apply this technique? Tell me. I am a research scholar. Can I apply to my research problem? I am planning for a startup. Can it help? I'm planning to join a product development company. Will that be helpful to me? If you ask this question, I'm sure this is what is immediately into your mind, right? So as always, I start with why. Why are we having this session? Why are we learning this technique? Yes, it can solve problems. It can help you in product development, services development, and more hybrid startups, etc., etc. So, of course, there are some do's and don'ts. Let us assume at this stage it can help you in solving problems, products, services, and more. So, fantastic. It is very interesting. I'm going to learn this and benefit from this. That's what you may be thinking. Yes, these are not just statements to start with to give you optimism and momentum to the whole topic. I want to share few important case studies to prove my point that how this ideation, problem solving through ideation helps, right? So this is a Airbnb business. Globally, they have been very successful and they are into the job of offering homestay. That's a new thing in India. If you look at Oyo homes, they are Oyo stays. That's what equivalent business in India. So if you see, they don't own much properties, but still they are very successful. They are a multi-billion-dollar company. When they were growing, suddenly they saw a slump around 2000. Their business was going down and they were wondering what's happening. That was the problem, right? I assure you, as we go through this, I will share a lot of case studies. We will take problems and then we will see how they overcome using this ideation, problem solving through ideation process. So the first one is Airbnb. And when they went through this slump and and as you know, like internet economy, internet businesses, right? So where the web is an important channel for them. And they had a similar ideation, design thinking workshop and figured out, whenever a person is selling hotel or homestays, they have to publish how their property looks like, some video and all the details. And they figured out the property images were of low quality and not clearly visible, right? So you yourself would have seen, oh, this image is not clear, like that. So that's what the customers felt. They figured out through this ideation workshop, and when they addressed this problem, and their revenue started growing, and they doubled by 2009, right? So at the end, not only they solved their problem, but also they were able to capture the user or customer experience, right? And then the sales revenue went up. This is one interesting story we start with. Another is Mozilla, right? Mozilla support forum, before say, for example, in this figure, you see x-axis the time and y-axis the volume of questions, right, and the answers. So before they applied this technique, their call volume was high. In the blue area you can see, and the green line which is very low, the response to those questions in the forum. And once they applied this ideation, problem solving through ideation, in the box, you see red box, in that period they went through this technique, applied this technique, and then you can see the result on your right. The number of responses to questions improved, and the volume of questions raised in the forum started decreasing, and the support quality started improving. Just two examples to start with. I started, as I told you, to give you optimism about this whole technique, right? So that's why I started with this. The agenda for this session, next 75 minutes or so, two parts. Part one, design thinking. I put just 30 minutes. I don't know whether I will get that much time. And part two, the topic of the day, problem solving through ideation, right? Why design thinking? Because, by the way, many of you may be aware, with Dr. Karthik's invitation, I had organized detailed workshop for your students, and the students really benefited. We started with the theory, and at the end, everybody had a product prototype in their hand they were presenting. That was the workshop we went through, and that whole workshop, the part of that is the problem solving through ideation, not just part. 4-step process is design thinking. In that, one important step is problem solving. So maybe some of you are not familiar. So just to give you, set the background, I want to start with design thinking for some time, and then slowly move into the problem solving through ideation. By the way, anytime if you are not able to hear me clearly or slides are not clear, please prompt me, because I will be keep on talking without really knowing. Please help me with that in case there is a problem. So this is the agenda. So, okay, fantastic. So the concepts, right? The concepts of this whole ideation or design thinking are few very, very important concepts. The focus is people-centered. You saw that, right? In the 2 case studies, the focus, attention, importance was given to customer experience, right? So that's what the design, experience design. And then empathy. I will tell you what is empathy. It is also people-centered. And storytelling, right? So the whole be it research or business or technology or any field, this plays an important role. And you will see that it's not just some words, but these are based on some powerful research in cognitive psychology and things like that, right? And to represent things visually, right? Important thing is throughout the exercise activities, we will be encouraging the participants to draw things and then tell. Doesn't mean that everyone needs to be an artist or a painter, but in your own way, in your own capacity, whatever it is, express it visually also, right? These are some powerful concepts. So I'm sure you know this great man, and no need for a introduction. And his organization heavily relied on design and design thinking concepts. So I have read that book. Some of you might have read his own biography, where there is a big the discussion happens between computer scientists, where they come and tell Steve Jobs that we are trying to we are trying to increase the round trip latency or bandwidth or performance. He was not at all interested, and he was asking why the edges of this Mac is not smooth. So they were really taken aback, but he is proving to be right. Not to say that those speeds and feeds are not important, but design is the fundamental soul of a man-made creation that ends up expressing itself in successive outer layers of the product. So no wonder he figured this out long back, early, and then now you can see a lot of benefits they are reaping, right? Apple. So we will see, and I'm sure you also feel this. I will take some examples and show you. So design thinking is the background to the ideation. It means that it is a hands-on, user-centric approach, right? Solving product or services or other things. It can lead to innovation, right? That's why I'm very proud to speak in this Innovation Council session. It can lead to innovation, and innovation can lead to differentiation and competitive advantage. You can see in many places like IBM, Google, the Apple, many global companies and Indian global corporations are leveraging design thinking. Understand what the user needs, right? With the empathy, right? So empathy means you get into their position and see how they are feeling using your product, right? So that is empathy, right? As simple as that, a nice theater was built, but at the end they figured out the differently abled people cannot reach there. So there was empathy was missing. As simple example as that. I will tell you some good story about that. So, and then think out of the box to ideate and then arrive at a solution out of the box. We have plenty of examples, simple example, big example, too technical, high-tech example. I have many of them I will share. And then refine, make, refine. So there is some interesting phrase which is being used as by the design thinkers and the designers, which is fail fast, right? So that means you don't wait for perfection and then take time, but whatever you have an idea, come out with a prototype, crude prototype, rough prototype, take it to the potential users, get the feedback, refine it, again make it, refine it, testing. That's what it's being talked about. I will tell you. Most important, I'm very happy when Dr. Nagesh Bhattu was saying that the audience include research from many departments. I'm really happy. One of the important prerequisite for applying this technique is cross-functional collaboration. I always encourage that bring in computer science, when you want to organize a session like this, bring in people from mechanical engineering, civil engineering, social sciences, various chemistry, physics. So bring them and then form cross-functional teams, and then you will see the magic happening, right? So the process, 4-step process, without spending too much time on this. Problem discovery, very, very important, right? There is a phrase, a very important phrase. I will also tell you, I have few slides I will tell you, called right design versus design right? That means you have followed the process and you have come out with excellent product, but it's not the right solution to be in the problem and solution phrase, if I have to use, right? You have followed the right process of problem solving, but the solution arrived is not right. That's what they say. Design right, but not right design, right? So there are many examples in the technology world also, right? There are processors built by big semiconductor companies, and then which turn out to be very user unfriendly. User took a lot of time. It was very hard to program that, and because of that, such a gaming processors failed. It's a big reality, right? And then things like Google Glass, and there are many more examples are there. So problem discovery, and then is very important, right? And then redefining the problem. I will talk about that when we come to that. And then next best important step is research and analysis, right? Which is very important step. We are not going to cover that, but I will quickly tell that what the user wants, what the market requires, what are the problems of the end user. So much emphasis is laid today for product development, service development, and this research and analysis. This is what happens. You do research, conventional, traditional research, you do user research, go to the user and interview them, gather the requirements. Not only that, you just go and stay and spend time at the user place. Don't do anything. Sit down and watch what all happening, right? So it will give a lot of insights. So that is the important step before even solving the problem. I assume I explain here, you understand that before coming to problem solving, you need to do user research. You need to gather user requirement. That's what is happening in research and analysis. People and context research. Not only people, what context they are working, right? For example, insurance, core insurance software, they figured out in the hospitals, it was working fine, but in the back-end processing center, it was having a lot of issues. So that is the context difference. So there is a difference. These things you will come to know only by interacting with the users, spending time at the user place, and so on. So then comes the third and most important step, which is the topic: solving, concepting, creating, right? Conceptualize solution, ideation, create ideas, storyboarding, rapid prototyping, right? And then fourth, most important, is testing, refining, pitching. So that's why prototype is very important. Take the prototype, do the testing. Sometimes more than the developers, architects, technology people, the end user may give a brilliant out of the box idea, right? So be ready to take those and then implement that. That is the fourth phase, 4-step process. Today, our focus is problem solving. Next 10-20 minutes, we will see more about the design thinking process, right? The problem discovery, people centered. You will hear this again and again and again. It has to be people centered. It has to reflect the problem, and you have to arrive at the right problem to solve, right? Research and analysis. Research with users. Already I explained, gave few examples. There are steps like what to ask, how to gather the requirements, and then there are concepts like personas, right? You may have hundreds of users and you may not be able to represent them. So you create a typical user and call it a persona, right? The insight statement, right? So there are some techniques. As I told, though it leads to solution and many times innovative solutions, but it is a structured approach. It has many templates. So as part of this activity, you may have to fill in some templates which will help you to follow the process correctly and so on. So one of those things are how might we questions. And this is the topic, generating ideas, top 5 ideas, bundle ideas, create a concept, scenarios and storyboard, rapid prototyping. So we will spend more time. So the final step is testing. You have the prototype, you go and test it, get the user feedback, come back and incorporate them, and then refine it and record results, enhance, retest, refine. You will be surprised some brilliant ideas user will give, which your team would not have thought about, right? So the whole idea, problem solving through ideation and design thinking is based on 2 pillars. What are those 2 pillars? The double diamond approach. That means, see, always there were times when always we were driven by timelines, right? Timeline, and then drive it to closer, very restricted research. Any new idea comes, you don't have time to explore that, experiment that. That was the situation, say, before this internet era, right? But now the new, based on the social sciences and psychology, the new approaches that inspiration, ideation and implementation, where during the research, we saw the 4-step process. You will see, like when you define a problem, you start, and when you go and do user research, you are actually diverging, right? You are going out, talking to people, observing, and so on and so forth. And then you come back and do the problem ideation, as in this session. You are going to solve the problem. And again, you take the prototype, again go to the user and then test that prototype, right? The prototype, I say, not necessarily a mechanical engineering design prototype. It can be a software prototype. It can be a service prototype. It can also be a mechanical or civil, different engineering discipline prototype. So take that and go to the customer, users, relevant users, and take their feedback, initial feedback. Again, you are diverging, but limited users, and then come back and then refine the product. So this is the double diamond approach. Diverge, converge, diverge, converge. This is a very important concept. You might have seen, right? Like when you have a deadline, you are always focused on how to close that. But what they say, you have to be little flexible and open for ideas. And many big corporates, there are big stories how their great ideas got killed because of time orientation, etc., etc. There are big stories and people have written books about that. The next important pillar of this problem solving and ideation is human centeredness. Already mentioned, you will keep hearing about that. This is the another important part. Here is an interesting story about Patricia Moore. What she did, she was 30, she was doing research to solve the problems of elderly people. You know what she did? She actually dressed like an elderly person, prosthetically disguised, nobody can identify, and went to 116 cities, okay, as an elderly woman, and then gathered information, right? So this research helped her to get a first-hand experience of how elders. This is a perfect example of empathy. So when she started her career and she used to work for defense, and when she used to US military, and when you used to bring such ideas, they used to wonder what she is talking. Always she used to question whenever a feature is brought up and presented, and she will say, is it human centered? Initially she had resistance. Slowly now she pioneered human centered design. This is an example of Patricia Moore, which is a great example of empathy, right? And all the companies, all the organizations in India and globally focusing on CSR activities, reaching to people, equal opportunity, and so many very broad themes are being in place. She is one of the pioneer of that, right? So even I can tell my own example. In my home, one of our close relative, due to some health condition, she can't climb stairs, right? You can imagine if she has to travel by train. It's a big project. And then you know how our railway stations, certain places, right? Some railway stations, they don't have they always have, you have to climb and climb down, and a lot of problems are there. This is the kind of problems, social problems. We have to be open and see the solution, whether technology can provide any solution for that. So empathy, right? So this is another big researcher, Austrian researcher or designer, says that design means it has to relate to people, right? Whether how friendly it is to people. No wonder when we talk about good quality software, you talk about user friendliness, right? So already that is there in the computer science world. People and technology, not just technology, products and context. You saw that insurance software, in two different contexts, it behaved differently, physical and digital, right? So, so these are some of the people-centered design concepts, right? So such design founded principles, combining analysis and innovative design is what very promising, that has a great future, right? So people-centric, again, look at this. there is a new concept, right? This concept came from the product development and cognitive psychology, right? So this is, we all know, right? This is a washing machine, but a new user who may be new to washing machine, they want to acquire, that family goes to a shop and wonders what it does, and they collectively wonder how it works, and so on. All these questions come, right? So so the thing is, it is not about how technology built inside. It's not about that. You remember that anecdote we heard about Steve Jobs, not about speeds and feeds, not just about how it works inside or how it looks on the outside, smooth, nice shape, even not even that, like Steve Jobs was asking for that, right? So, but how it works on the outside when a person comes into contact with it and has to work with it, right? So this leads to a concept called human and technology, and then affordance and behavioral psychology. Affordance means, like many people say that I'm really scared to go near that particular coffee vending machine, because you ask for coffee, it may pour tea, or you may get yourself burnt with the hot water and so on, right? That is not affordance. And then look at this. This is a typical example of not affordance, so complex, and many people even now they really get confused with this kind of design, right? So those things when it comes to product design are very important. Not just the physical products I'm talking about, but also the software products, right? I have some examples, and you might have heard about a company, lot of stories. I don't want to get into the details. Software which was not taking into these kind of behavioral psychology aspects, experience design led to huge loss to the company and so on, right? There are many examples, but the product developers, be it physical product developer or software developer or service developer, they have understood this. Last 15-20 years, this concept they are building into the product, right? So psychology is the scientific study, right? It's a very structured study of the mind and the behavior, right? So whatever statements I told in earlier, like empathy, people-centeredness, not just I'm just saying something, reading something, but there is a sound research behind this. So this is another important book, very popular, The Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman. So this professor also very popular, and he I think full-time employee of Adobe. He consults also. He has also his own company, and nice work he is doing in the field of problem solving and ideation, right? So we can keep talking about, it's not just about user experience alone, but also about the brand. What kind of brand recall we have about Apple products, for example, or Google products, and so on, right? So it goes on like holistic, physical to digital, simple innovation, right? We have seen this, right? Empathy. Elderly people, they always get confused whether they have taken medicine or not. as simple as that. And some pharma company came out with dates on that so that they can easily see, okay, I have emptied the Saturday one, so I have taken that. Innovation is often in the details, and the problem solving through ideation. It doesn't cost money or much time. It's a concept. Anybody can apply. All situations can be applied, and then the great products and services can come out of that, right? So design leads to innovation, right? I'm not saying that. Indra Nooyi, CEO of Pepsi, right? Ideally, design leads to innovation, and the innovation demands design. I read about this. I don't have the slide on this, but I read about this. You will be appreciating, which brings out cross-functional teams, how they can work together, right? You know, they also have chips, right? Potato chips is one of their products. So they figured out, they are heavily into design thinking, right? They hired a designer specifically for that. They are heavily into design thinking, and one of their this kind of problem solving, they wanted to solve problem. How? They wanted to reduce the calorie of the potato chips users are consuming, right? If you reduce the important ingredient for any such wafer and all is salt, right? So the salt, what happens when the user, customer eats the potato chips, the salt, it doesn't dissolve fully, right? 50% say, I'm just taking some number of the salt just remains, and that gets into the body, right? So this was figured out. So they invented a new salt component which puts the right amount of salt in the chips. So they reduced the calories. At the same time, they ensured the taste of the product does not compromise. That is the level of innovation it leads to. No wonder that accounts for their business growth, right? So we saw a lot of stories about design thinking, and problem solving through ideation is the third and important step of the design thinking process. That is what we are getting into, right? So you will learn here problem solving through ideation. You will see that it doesn't require much involvement. Simple. Yep. That's how this Google, these startups, they leverage this problem solving through ideation. Many projects, very interesting projects, they have benefited from that. So at this stage, am I audible? Are you following me? Is it clear? Can I have any feedback, any question? I'm not, unfortunately, I'm unable to see my chat window. Any questions are there? Dr. Nagesh Bhattu?
Sir, so far no questions are flowing through in the chat window.
Okay.
Participants, if you have any queries to pose to Dr. Sampath, please feel free.
Yeah, you can also, some of you can tell me, because I'm not watching the chat window, I can stop and respond to that. Anybody has any points? Any comments? Okay. If there are there any questions, comments, thoughts?
No, Dr. Sampath. No questions flowing through.
Fine, fine. Thank you, thank you. So problem solving through ideation, right? It is a simple, structured process, right, through which you are going to solve your problem, right? So before you come to that, you have the assumption is you have completed the first two steps, right? One is problem identification, another is research, user research. Those two steps are completed. You have taken extensive notes from the user research, and then you have come to this session. Now we will get into this problem solving session, right? So now however, about the problem, because it's a problem and we need a solution, we need a technique for that. So in order to understand that, we need to understand what is a problem, right? We all know about the problem. I already told you the other word for problem is a design challenge, right? So when the examples I showed, right, business examples I showed, or technology examples I showed, right, software examples I showed. So at the end of that, they're all problems. Maybe a product development company has a problem, or a service provider has a problem, or even social problems like Patricia Moore was trying to address, right? So anything could be a problem. So we may interchangeably say problem or design challenge, right, throughout this session. Don't get confused. We may call it design challenge or problem, right? All, I mean the same thing, one and the same thing. But we want a solution, right? Which is a clear term. But what is ideation, right? This is some term may be new for some of you, right? Ideation, which is nothing but for the solution generating ideas or idea generation. Simple, ideation. So now the topic objective is clear, right? We are going to learn a technique for solving problem through ideation, right? So now let us move on. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. You know, this is the great inventor who told this. Anyone want to take a guess who this person is? Just take a guess, no problem. Wrong answer is okay. Such a powerful statement, right? Tell me and I forget. Teach me, I remember. Involve me and I learn. This is the whole concept of the problem solving through ideation and design thinking. No other than Benjamin Franklin, right? The great inventor. So told me this. So let us start. Let us start with a small activity, right? The organizer, Dr. Nagesh Bhattu, would have told that all of you to bring a paper and pen, right? Quickly take 1 minute and draw a vase, V-A-S-E. You may be wondering what is a vase. I will show you what is a vase. So this is a vase. Okay. First round of this exercise, you take 1 minute, your time starts now. Take out a piece of paper and draw a vase. Once you are finished, you can post it or show it on your video. Your time starts now on camera, what you have drawn. Are you clear what you need to do? Take a paper and pen, draw a vase. You have 40 seconds more. No pressure. Relax. Draw a vase. Oh, someone has drawn. Super. Prabha has drawn. Thank you, Prabha. Super, super. Anybody else? You have some more time. Some more time. Go ahead. Draw a vase. Ten more seconds. Draw a vase. One more person. Can you show me? Then we can move on. Yeah. Nagesh Bhattu. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. Super. Now, I want you to design a way for people to enjoy flowers, right? Please design a way for people to enjoy flowers. This is the second round. You all design for a way for people to enjoy flowers in their homes, in their offices, and show it. Maybe some other people, please show it. Something like this. Design a way for people to enjoy flowers. I am sure some people have done it already. Anybody? One or two you show, then we will proceed. Anyone? Great, great. Same, Prabha. Okay, super. I'm sure everyone has seen it. If anybody has, you want to show one more? One more? Never mind. I'm sure you have drawn. See. So you compare the two drawings and think how reframing the question affected the proposed solution, right? So this is one of the activity as part of defining the problem clearly we go through, right? So learning how to reframe, brainstorm, triggers thinking outside the box, right? I'm sure by this small activity you would have understood. Excellent. So that is the point I want to tell you. Problem, right? Just given a problem, I'm sure we should not get into solving the problem. We need to understand what is the problem. Do we understand what the real problem is, right? So many times asking these questions, having a discussion amongst ourselves lead to redefining the whole problem, and then the solution will be different, right? If you have the different problem, then the solution will also be different. But if you have the right problem, then the solution most likely will become the right solution, right? What do we know about the problem? These are the questions we ask to reflect on the problem. What do we know, right? What question do we have about it, right? So, and how could we be thinking about it, right? See, these are all the questions. These are all the questions. We, as a consultant, we have been always in front of customer. As part of my role, 60% of the time I was doing solution architecture for big telcos, banks and all. So I was doing that. So I will be taken to the customer when customer has a problem. So when I go there, or person like me, when he or she goes there, always importantly they follow something. They at that meeting they ask only thing, they ask question. They understand the problem. Many times, as a trusted advisor, they may even say, for this, you don't need any purchase of anything. You can solve your problem with existing resources, existing setup. Like that also they will recommend. So at that time, they will clearly understand the problem. They will ask only questions. They will listen, actively listen to the customer who is defining the problem. Maybe the problem is there was an outage and there was an outage, they didn't know what happened, or when the flood happened, they had to shut down the systems, and for 24 hours, users were not able to access, transact on their system. Because of some solution not available, or they lost their backup and things like that. So understand the problem. Or 20 years back, some customer was asking us that we want to offer email, but for the end user, the email capacity should always be available, infinite capacity, right? So never it should say you ran out of space or something like that. That is their USP. So those kind of very unique requirements. Of course, there are solutions where you can use archival and move the data from primary storage to tertiary to storage and so on. There are solutions available, but you need to understand the problem. At that time, Google was offering that. Never they said you have exceeded your limit quota, nothing was there, and so on. So reflect on the problem, and then you can provide a great solution. You can even redefine the problem. You can advise the user, can we take this as a problem, right? So that is why we saw that when we designed a simple ways versus when we designed a way for people to enjoy flowers in their home, gave us two different solutions. And I am sure the later one you would have really appreciated, right? So generating the first thing is generating ideas. Okay, believing that optimism, right? All the problems are solvable, right? People who face those problems every day are the ones who hold the key to their answer, right? So this is people who hold the problems every day, they have the answer, right? So interestingly, I have heard about this psychotherapist where the patients used to come and then explain the problem, 2-3 settings, and then they used to go back saying, yes, I have improvement in my situation, and go. And the psychotherapist doctor used to comment to the onlooker or the person who is explaining the story, look, the patient who came, she thought I solved her problem. Actually, she solved her own problem. She had their answer. I only facilitated, right? That is the perfect statement, right? So, we dream up a lot of ideas. Some work and some don't, right? So, I'm sure companies like Apple, for every product they release to the market, they have 2-3 prototypes, right? Which didn't see the light of the day, right? Because they're all dream of their architects, right? We make our ideas simple so that we can test them and refine them, right? You might have heard all great ideas are simple, right? So a problem solver and innovator, right? So this session basically problem solving using ideation or innovation using ideation. You can also rephrase it that way. We keep experimenting and testing as a problem solver, right? I include you also because you are also a researcher, master, doing projects, and you have problems, not only scientific, technology, computer science oriented, but also social problems you may be associated. We keep experimenting and testing, right? We fail early and often. So these are the typical innovators, right? They fail early and often, and surprising amount of time we don't know the answer, groping in the darkness. Still we keep approaching, yet we forge ahead, right? Empathize, important element we bring in. It should be human centric. Look for inspiration in unexpected places. Have you imagined a user who is asking for a problem can give you some brilliant idea? Because they are going to use, they know what the product should behave, how they should. Many product improvements in the industry today have come from the user experience, right? We believe that a solution is out there. We need to focus. We need to design and asking the right question, right? So we are not just problem solvers, but we are innovators, right? We are innovators, right? So let us, throughout this next 40 minutes or so, we will keep these things in mind, right? Empathy, optimism, always there will be a solution. We don't hesitate to iterate, keep doing. Failed, iterate again. Failed, iterate again. Confidence in creativity. The solution will be unique, right? We are confident. We focus on making, not theory, not presenting only. Ambiguity. Oh, beginning, we don't know what happens. So many things, this way or that way. Ambiguity will be there. Fail early and learn from it. And not just scientific technology, research innovation, social, business innovation. Keep your eyes, ears, and mind open, right? So, this concepting building technique involves generate idea, pick up top 5 idea, bundle the idea, and create a concept, draw a storyboard. I will tell you what is that. Rapid prototyping. By the way, when we conducted the workshop at NIT Andhra, the students, some group of students went to the level of rapid prototyping for the problems they had taken. I'm not sure, maybe some of them are in this class also. So I would be really interested if somebody has taken it further and applied it elsewhere. Right, that is later. So generating ideas ideate beyond borders. Okay, ask question to push the boundaries. So there is a Japanese technique asking Japanese automotive industry technique asking 5 times why. You got an answer, don't stop it. Again, you ask why, like that. That may lead to, you might have seen this. This may appear commonsensical, but this is a structure. This technique brings a structure to the whole thing, right? So when you ask why, not only why not, what if, right? It generate many ideas. Some will work, many will not. Let us be very honest, right? This is one of the effective practice of generating idea, right? So we need to unify the concept, quickly prototype, iterate, refine, iterate, and so on, right? So we saw some of them. I don't want to spend more time on this. Already we know these things. These are hallmark of problem solving, right? Idea generation, why it works, what is it? Brainstorming, right? Why it works, what is it? So we discuss, not just brainstorming. The Google Sprint, the book I showed, so they go through this process, and a lot of interesting startups have come out of Stanford. Many university startups, they have successfully converted into the product, right? So it involves devil's advocate, like questioning how will it work, right? We all we all do this, right? You know it will work, still just to provocate and then bring out some new ideas. You ask this your students and your research scholar and so on, or research scholar ask other research scholar and so on. Rephrase the problem. We spend time on that. We will spend some more time. Think in reverse, right? So just think the opposite, and then random ideas. This is out of box. So don't think somebody will laugh. Just bring to the table some random idea, right? So some random idea, right? If any of you have some example or some experience, please share, right? So outsider perspective. That is why the cross-functional collaboration is very important, right? So the workshops, the corporates conduct, they ensure that a finance person is there, operations person is there, and in addition to the software team, right? If it is a software product. So so different perspective, HR person, right? So and so on. Change setting and environment. You, in order to conduct the workshop, typically this kind of activities, they go outside your NIT setup to some resort or some picnic spot, and then have this activity. So fun, humor, and gaming. Gaming is turning out to be a important, powerful concept. Every product, every many technologies, they are bringing in gaming. Gaming is not just a game the younger generation plays, but also the whole thing is treated as a game, right? Play the if I were, right? So if I were the affected person, or if I were the customer, metaphorical thinking, right? So we are talking about not problem solving, but delighting, right? Not solving the customer, but delighting the customer, right? So you might have heard this phrase, customer delight, right? So when it comes, if you are focused, it is like many of you are familiar with finding the maxima, right, or minima, right? So instead of the refinement is like finding the local minima, right, instead of global minima, right, versus exploration, where you explore. You remember that concept we saw, diverge and then converge, right? You explore this way, that way, 2-3 during the phase of divergence, do all that, multiple ideas. Again, I am repeating, I know based on my experience, many corporations, great ideas have been killed because of the product timeline or the refinement, best solution, the left refinement mindset, right? Which what happened? They exit the company, go and start a separate company and became successful, right? So you might have heard this too, right? So delight, exploration, that is what this technique encourages, right? We saw this. There is a problem in the software or any maintenance, right? Maintenance cost is very expensive. That's what the research, the analytics has given to the corporates. Once a product is sold and the maintenance cost, be it software or hardware or any devices, right, gadgets, the maintenance is expensive, right? So why not come out with design where the maintenance is really completed in 15 minutes, right? So or maybe in short time, 1 hour. So during that discussion, somebody came out and say, why not 15 minutes? That's what the people, why not 15 minutes to set up, right? And car, right? We driverless car. No need to delve deep into this. We all know that once it was science fiction, now it's a reality. Music library outside the player, why not? Yeah, anyone can drive, anyone, why not? Right? So like taxi hiring apps and things like that. We all use that, and once it was a dream, now it is a reality, right? All this happened based on asking question, why not, right? So everyone, so now the activity starts, right? When we, this whole thing of problem solving through ideation is a group activity. Maybe a people of 5 people or 6, 7 people in a group sit together and solve a problem, right? Imagine. And this is a cross-functional team, and everyone must write, right? No one, what do you mean by write? Means in the board, right? In the board, everyone must write, right? And then I was looking for something like this, post-it, right? Post-it. Just 1 minute, 1 minute. I'm sure most of you know, and I'm just for sake of clarity, post-it. This plays an important role in problem solving, right? So everyone must write, right? So you write one idea per post-it, and there is a common board where you can paste, right? Write individually. So what do you write? What is it write is being talked about? Now, when we come to problem solving, you have gone and met the user, gathered the requirement, you have read a lot of papers, blogs and books, and you have come and done research. Now it is time for you to share each one's thoughts. Very important thought, one per post-it and put it there, right? Frame problem appropriately, that we already saw, right? So the effective brainstorming. So it's not that, like when many times the brainstorming is done, one or two people dominate. No, that's wrong, right? Everybody has, it's very democratic and everybody has a uh, right to convey, share. That's why everybody is given a post-it. After they interview, based on their note, they write their ideas. Like, for example, here it says adaptive application. The application needs to be adaptive. It should have a manifest file and so on. Something is written here. Like that, one idea, one observation per post-it, and you post it on a board, right? Everybody, whatever they have pertinent idea, they have to write it on a post-it notes and then post it. So talking about post-it and innovation, here is a thing which comes to the mind. Look at this person, right? He is the inventor of simple idea like post-it notes. Right now we are talking about the product post-it notes. He used to go to church and then used to keep a bookmark of him during choir, and every Sunday that bookmark used to fall, and he used to work for 3M. He was in R&D, and he thought, why not come out with a paper which sticks on the book or on a board. So he came out and invented this, and he has a patent for this, right? So no innovation, no idea is simple or trivial or bad, right? Only criteria is it has to be creative and unique, right? So keeping that in mind, what are the top 5 ideas or themes sticking out to the group of users who are gathering to solve the problem in the ideation session? They have to write that top 5 ideas, right? So top 5 ideas they have to write on this post-it notes. So you gather your team and have everyone write the top 5 ideas jumping out. One idea per post-it. Share your top 5 ideas. Ask questions and discuss, and cluster similar idea. So this helps you to reveal opportunities, isolate key ideas, uncover themes, right? See, this is a ideation workshop where the team is writing their ideas after meeting the user, understanding the requirement, right? So the premises is already we started. You really don't know from where the brilliant idea will come, innovative idea will come. So you should give opportunity to every participant, and all ideas should come to the board in the form of post-it notes. Here is our Nobel laureate, who's chemistry Nobel laureate, Linus Pauling, says, the way to get good ideas is to get lots of ideas and throw the bad ones away. That will happen later stage. But the first step is to get all the ideas to the board, to the table, right? So that's what this group is doing. So when the ideation workshop is conducted in your premises, this is what will happen. You will identify who all the people will participate to solve this problem. The problem could be a social problem, which as part of activity you have initiated, or the problem could be some challenge you are facing in the college, or problem could be some real technology problem or a startup idea. It could be anything, right? So that's why I was very happy when I learned that I'm speaking in an innovation council. This is the best platform where these activities can happen. So we already saw everybody, see 6-7 people are there. They are all writing their ideas after doing research and user interviews. They are writing their ideas, seeing other ideas and so on. And they are posting it using the post-it notes on the board. Let the ideas pour, right? Free fall of ideas. As many ideas you bring in, but you filter it with top ideas and then post it, right? So this just graphics where the meteor shooting stars shower happened in 18th century, really happened in some place in United States. So it's a picture of that. Let the ideas fall, and then top 5 ideas, you put the ideas, so you put the ideas, and then see, this is how once, see, 5 ideas per person, 7 people in the group, 35 new ideas. Brilliant, unimaginable in a person single-handedly sitting and solving that, right? So this itself is a great progress, right? Top 5 ideas. So, and then, by the way, don't hesitate. There is no money, no investment, no time. Just follow this. I will share the slide. Just follow this as a just experiment, play around with it. You have some problem among student community or research scholars or college campus or some technology startup idea, put together a team and experiment with this. And if you get into some problem, let me know. And I promise you, at the end, you will have a prototype, right? An idea, right? So then after you get the idea, so group the ideas, right? Some ideas may be operational, some idea may be technology related, some idea may be challenges related, some idea may be user requirement related. So like this, different, some idea may be privacy. If it is a software, privacy issue related. Some could be maintenance, supportability. Some could be commercial, pricing, viability, right? So group the idea as a cluster, right? See, now you individually gave 5 ideas. Now you are grouping together from different things. So look at this. Companies, Tata, you know what? They have an annual innovation award for team members did their best but failed. Dare to try award. Interesting, isn't it? So they tried. That is the culture, right? That is the new found openness. That is the divergence, right? They are encouraging divergence. Dare to try but fail. There could be many reasons. It could be may not be possible for human to use it, right? Such an idea, or tech feasibility is not there. Maybe 20 years back when they thought driverless car, they would have ruled out saying tech feasibility, right? So, or business viability, great product, but the competition is giving a product a lesser price. So your price is higher than that. Business viability. So for various these reasons, the products failed, and so you can imagine between 2007 and 2012, so many they have encouraged, Tatas have encouraged so many ideas, innovations. it doesn't matter even if it is failure, right? So this is a typical workshop where things happen. Now bundle ideas, right? And many ideas become few ideas, right? You bundle it and you give a title for that, each idea, and then name them, right? So from 35 ideas, you group them, cluster them, and then give a name, and then together, collectively, you'll do that. So that's how this first part of the ideation goes. This is just one part, right? So we have an idea out of this activity, right? So look at this. So location specific advertising aimed at auto passengers. Some innovative thoughts came out of some problem solved during ideation, right? How will I benefit? That is the key question which was answered. Passengers now easily know what deals do I get, something like the hiring apps, right? Taxi hiring app or auto hiring app, right? Or auto drivers, how will I benefit, right? Additional income with less effort, right? Throughout 24/7, they keep getting customers, right? And designer auto, my image amongst customers. There is a interesting story, some of you might have read. There is an auto driver who has a gadget freak, and he has all the hi-fi gadgets in his auto, and he gives talks in various big corporates. He is giving talk, something like that. Shopkeeper, humorously, it's called pawn card, right? Get your pawn card. So how will I benefit, right? I can now advertise about my shop, discount and special goodies, right? My shop is getting popular and so on, right? These are the benefits for the stakeholders, right? So at the end of grouping, this is what you get. One side. So this is an example of they wanted to design a lightweight spoon come cutlery for airline or train food. So this is what happened. One idea was one side fork, another spoon. Tear out cardboard and spoon. Traditional spoon and fork. The reason I am taking small, simple example is that easy to follow in a short time, right? Two pieces assembled. Fork with the shape of the spoon and so on, right? And brilliant ideas, simple thing, simple problem, more ideas, right? So more ideas, cluster them, which is efficient. Look at this, folding handle. This is one idea which passed through. Made of plastic, lightweight, fork teeth at end of spoon. You can fold it. It can act as a spoon. It can act as a fork. Simple. It came out of problem solving using this. Next step is scenarios and storyboard. At this stage, I want to tell you one example of a storyboard with some real life big problem which was solved. Let me tell you this story. You also follow and read it. These two come from Egypt. Her son is young, has some heart problem. US Western Hospital rejected the patient, saying, no, we can't take you. They land in Chennai during COVID lockdowns, imagine, and approach hospital, doctor, surgeon, immediately goes through the history, checks the parameters, figures out the treatment. Yes, it is curable. The treatment is LVAD, left ventricle assisted device. But surgeon has a question, problem. Small chest, because young boy, what if it becomes impossible to close chest after implant? Very life-threatening. So that was in his mind. That was the problem in this surgeon's mind. Look, whom he is approaching. Leading institute design professor, this surgeon approaches and puts this problem. This is the problem. Can you help me with whatever the research, high-tech research you have been doing? So quickly, VR comes to this professor's mind and uses all the devices, head-mounted display, data glove, and so on and so forth, takes the data CT scan from the surgeon and builds the 3D model of the heart of that and the LVAD, and exactly the professor finds a coordinate where this small pump, LVAD is a pump, can be implanted accurately, right? So one, yes, it can be implanted. Two, where it can be implanted. That's what the solution this professor gives. And based on this confidence, surgeon goes ahead and conducts surgery, and the operation is a success, right? So all the parameters of the boy was normal, and happily mother and son left for their home country. So see here, what are all the things you can see here in this? This is an example of a storyboard. Not only I introduced the concept of storyboard, but also I told you a story where a problem is solved using collaboration, innovation, right? Technology, empathy. There were constraints like lockdown, movement, all those things, constraints. Even for surgeon, there was a constraint. In spite of all this, the problem was solved. And this is a very critical medical condition, right? So this, I'm sure all of you quickly got this. In 2 minutes, I was able to explain you the solution, right? That is the power of storyboard. So here is another storyboard when they are building a urban mass transit service. So they take photos and then put together and then create. Storyboard is nothing but a comic book which we all have gone through, read, right? So that is what it is. But it captures the moment of usage of action to meet a need. User motivation and action. Quick, low resolution, right? Immediately you can put together your solution, right? And articulate thoughts, right? This is simple. How when online service you approach and what are the challenges you face and what are the various options. This is called in software development use case or user stories. That's what they call nowadays, user stories. So put together, very easy to explain to your team members. Here is a scenario where a retired couple wants to go for a picnic, for a travel. I also want to do like Jindahi Na Milega Dubar, some Hindi movie where the tour is being explored west in Europe. So they approach a travel person, and that person says, no, we don't offer. This couple asks, do you offer this? We want to go for adventure tour. No, this traveler says no. At that time, he's talking to his friend, and then one young boy comes and, sir, I heard this, and there is a website which does that. Very simple, right? So simply a story is explained. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes I took. So this is how oil filling app storyboard. So storyboard helps us to articulate thoughts during idea problem solving, right? Idea generation, right? Creating the product, right? So how the product will be in the lives of users. have a shared understanding, right? So step one, so this is a step, how to create a storyboard. I don't want to go into the details. There is a template. I told you, it is a very structured. It's not just saying you do this, do that, it's good and all. There is a exact way of doing things. This is a template. You explain what's happening and then you describe it and put some photo or draw something, and slowly you can build the storyboard. So here, see, the using the template, this this lady with 2 children got impacted by a flood, and she takes a loan, starts her own venture, small business, and then she properly repays the loan and then approaches the bank, and they are ready to give her another loan. So small concept, interestingly. So this is the second concept of ideation, called storyboarding. First is put together a team, idea generation, top 5 ideas, right? So that is the first step. Second step is storyboard. The third step and important step is prototyping, right? Prototype. This is the emphasis. That's what I said. If it is done face to face, I would have insisted that everybody who participated as a team come out with a prototype, something like this, of your idea. Quickly sketch onto this. It can be like this, if it is a user interface, or if it is a physical product, you can, for example, like when you have socks, you wash it and the pairs get separated. It's a big struggle. And then how to avoid that? There is a small, simple product was designed for that solution prototype. Look at this: teacups, cardboard board, stickers, sellotape. Simple. You can create a prototype. That is what is required in these workshops, right? See, moving interface with some innovative paper prototype. See, left side, web portal is prototype, whereas on the right side, the same prototype is translated into a real web portal, right? Software is designed. So how much easy for this to explain it to developer, or to go and show it to end user and ask for feedback. And they may say that this feature nobody uses. You can remove it. You can instead add another feature. Such important, valuable feedbacks may come. Using paper prototype, app running on iPad can be shown. And this is an example of a mixed prototype. I am not going to show this. And this is a sliding window, paper prototype, alternative concepts, right? So rapid prototype of an ATM, right? So at the end of this problem solving through ideation, the team members come together and come out with a prototype of their solution. It can be a software product, it can be a physical product, but always a prototype can be created, which can be demonstrated, which is very, very important, which is requirement for this problem solving through ideation, right? So there are many features, right? Many ways you can, options can be explained in paper prototype, task flow can be explained. This is some person where he is demonstrating the privacy, right? And then prototyping. See, when you create a prototype and show it to marketing person, he or she will say brand is not visible. So see, imagine you come out with a final product and this marketer gives this feedback. My God, another 3 months delay in go to market. And ergonomics handle is not comfortable. These are all very, very important for a physical product. Scientists may say blade is not sharp enough, right? Different feedbacks you can get possible, right? Many of them are possible through this prototype. So build your design, use things you see around you. I told you paper cups, cardboard box, pencil, sellotape, bottle covers, many things you can use to come out with a paper prototype, or if it is a software interface, a paper prototype, if it is any startup idea, some other prototype, and so on. Not perfect, just good enough to get the ideas. Something you have in hand where you can go and show it to the user, right? They know it is a prototype, but they can actually open up their mind and share what are their pain points. So which you can make note and then incorporate, right? You don't mind sharing ugly things. Get comfortable with sharing things early and often, maybe once, twice, thrice, even if they are ugly. Get alignment with your team. No need to make changes later, right? No need to delay the product launch and so on, right? So nobody can say, you can always say, I had a proper testing session with you and so on. You can defend yourself, right? So paper, and these are some of things which I already told you. So reflect again. What did we see in this session? Two things. Problem. What do we know about the problem? What question do we ask? And how could we be thinking about it? Important thing is you choose the right problem, refine the problem, rephrase the problem, because based on that your solution will change. And then we saw generating ideas through top 5 ideas, bundling ideas, scenarios and storyboards, rapid prototyping, right? So these are the things we saw for concept, for ideation, as part of ideation. During bundling ideas, scenarios, rapid prototyping, all discussions, brainstorming, group discussion, all the things happen. And it's fun and really wonderful experience. At the end, you get a idea of prototype. So we saw that the design thinking process is the superset of problem solving, and problem solving is an important step. As we know, problem and solution are important, right? That's what we saw. And we also saw two important concepts like double diamond, diverging, converging, and people centered, right? In addition to that, we also saw visually representing things, right? Collaboration, right? Cross-functional collaboration, and so on. So these are some of the important aspects of benefits, aspects and benefits of this problem solving through ideation as part of design thinking process. I don't know, we have time. Dr. Nagesh Bhattu, if we have time, can we play that video and end the session? Or if you don't have time, we can close it with the Q&A.
Sure, sir.
Just 3 minutes video.
You can now sit down and say something.
Hopefully with audio.
You have to do something, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm just Trying to play some video.
Can you start from beginning? This is just a video, self-explanatory. I don't want to. Start from the beginning, please. It has subtitles as well. So I will keep quiet and you can read that.
Sir, the video is done, sir. Yeah.
Okay, actually it was not clear. So just for 1 minute, this video is called Bionic Eye, where a micro controller is implanted, and there is a camera comes with the glasses, and the person who lost vision at 20 due to RP, the disease called retina pigmentosa, has been given partial vision through the technology, which involves medical, basically electronics, IoT, and computer vision all combined together. So he gets a partial vision, and it was a great invention. Importantly, empathy, human-centered innovation, human-centered. It involves collaboration between technologies and medical professionals, right? So that's why I thought I will show, but if you can see this from the beginning, we will share this YouTube. You can see it. Thank you. Any
Sir, I shared the link here.
That is great.
Comment
That's
section.
great.
Is the audio not there, sir?
Yeah, audio was not there.
Oh.
No problem. No problem. It should have started from the beginning. It started in the middle. No problem.
Okay. Sir, then we'll open
Yes.
for any questions from the audience. You can ask 1 or 2 questions if you have any to sir.
My question is, Sindhu, are you going to ask something? Okay. My question is, anybody who attended that workshop who is also participating here?
I think there are no that workshop was meant for a different batch of students.
Okay, fine. Okay.
They passed out of the institute, I think. That is what I remember, sir. Yeah.
My question is, anyone has any idea, startup idea, or any problem, social problem they want to solve, where they want to know any problem they have, they want to apply this ideation concept, technique.
Any of the participants, can you just bring before sir any of the ideas that you have been exploring for the ideation thing?
Or any other comments? Have you? Are you clear? Are you clear about the process steps which we followed? Are you clear? Do you have any questions? Or do you have any skepticism or doubt whether this method will work for some kind of problems?
Sir, I have one question from my side. Like,
Yes.
usually I mean, when we are in academic organization, we have this dilemma when it comes to conducting these hackathons, wherein we expect the students to perform and so on. Like when we are conducting, when there is some focused, theme, then there are like the students should be much more experienced in that domain. Whereas when the hackathon is a little open ended, then the people are able to try, but the ideas are like shallow. Right? Where to meet this even point here? Like, when we are conducting, the way you showed, it is actually exciting. Like there is some place wherein these people will try to solve a common. It's as you told, it is a group activity, right? So they come and try to brainstorm, and solve a particular problem. Right? So how do we take the balance between these two things? If it is too focused, then only experienced people can solve the problem. When it is too open, then it's not. It's only shallow solutions that people attempt.
Yeah. So, see, one thing which comes to my mind as a response to your question is, see, whenever we keep conducting such activities, hackathons, workshops, all these group activities, and if the participants are very quick to identify, is it just Gyan theory, or is it based on some sound framework? Okay, so always whenever such things are organized, it's good to based on some sound framework. For example, here I didn't speak some general things, but I spoke based on design thinking as a concept, right? So then it makes there is a credibility. They trust, the participant trust. That is one. Second is very important to make it simple, right? Simple in the sense it should not be complex, complicated, involving multiple steps and confusing, all those things. Then the participation also becomes less, right? So this is another thing. The third point is maybe what corporates they do, they associate rewards, okay, associate rewards to enhance the focus. And in fact, IBM, I know they give cash rewards, say $1,000, $500, like that. So if that is the case, then to encourage participants. So these are the 3 points I will have. One is solid framework and simple approach, not complicated. And third is reward the activity. I'm not sure whether I answered, but this is what comes to my mind.
Yeah. This is from the perspective of designing some in this innovation. To nurture that innovation. These are the lines of thoughts that you're telling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you?
Anybody else?
Sir.
Ah.
Sir, I have a query.
Yes.
Usually, people who are well versed and experienced with such problems, design problems, our mind tends to get cluttered with the templatized solutions that we already know. That oftentimes, I experience it as the a person who is working with certain domains for a long period of time. By now I'm very much used to templatized way of thinking solutions for new problems. So how do I break out of this curse of familiarity?
Yeah. So those are some of the things which points which we discussed, right? So this is common, right, for any experienced professional. This is very common, and even I used to be like that, right? Project oriented, timeline oriented, closed. That we know this how it will work and so on. But after getting exposed to this divergence, convergence, right? Fail fast, multiple iteration, crude solution prototypes and testing. So this design thinking concept steps really opened up for me, right? That helps. Maybe you see, design thinking, I had made it very, very simple, but many big leading universities, they have a center of excellence on design thinking, and they are trying to solve a global problem with United Nations and UNESCO and those WHO and so on. So and that is one. Second is you saw that psychology coming into play, right? So that makes design thinking very rigorous discipline for innovation, creativity, out of box thinking. I think maybe you pick up one book, something like Don Norman, and read that, see whether that helps.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much for the.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Anybody else from the participants' side? If no one has any queries, then we will close the session. Yeah. It's indeed a pleasure to host a session on this niche topic of problem solving and ideation. And we have got an excellent speaker, Dr. Sampath Narayanan sir, to deliver elaborately on various aspects of this problem solving and ideation. We have taken notes of your deliberations, sir, your double diamond approach, and lots of places you spoke about the people-centric ideas. Those things are all some things that bring some kind of new kinds of problems also, new kinds of solutions also, and so on. That focus is something that you gave us as additional points. And lots of places you brought this computer science principles into your lecture, and also it is applicable across domains. Lots of applications you have shown, sir. Thank you. And our students and our scholars and all are benefited with your valuable lecture. Thank you very much for giving a lecture here. And I also want to thank the IIC team, Dr. GRK Sastry sir, Dean R&C, who has been behind conducting this event, and then Dr. Sudarshana Deepa, who is the chairperson of this IIC forum, and Dr. Sharad Dwivedi, who has helped me, and web and network team, who has also helped in hosting this event in the online forum, and all the research scholars and the students who have helped us to bring this event into this shape. Thank you very much to all the faculty members and students of this institute who have helped, and external participants who have joined this session. Thank you all. With that, I am concluding this session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Dr. Karthik, do you want to share anything?
Just I would like to... Just I would like to thank Dr. Sampath Narayanan Parthasarathy for conducting this session on problem solving and ideation. I'm sure it's very valuable, sir, to the Innovation Council Forum that we have here at NIT AP, and also for the external participants. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. You are welcome. I'm leaving the call now. Thank you.
Now we can all leave.